Welcome to part 5 of Happy Hour with the Keverend. Today we are looking at the components of the worship service that are the affirmation of faith, the offertory, and the prayer of dedication. I have added 2 other pieces of music to this lineup. In the affirmation of faith, you may want to add the Doobie Brothers, Jesus is Just Alright With Me. And then under the prayer of dedication, after traffic, then we'll hear Elton John's Salvation. First off, I want to share with you some photos of churches that I have served since 1985. The first up is the First Presbyterian Church of Oxford, Mississippi, where I served from 85 to 89. I was the associate pastor there, as well as a part-time campus minister at the University of Mississippi, which was just 2 miles, or really 1 mile, from the church. So that was a great beginning and first experience for me, and I worked with Sam Marshall as the head of staff there, and enjoyed my time in Oxford very much. The second church that I served was the New Providence Presbyterian Church in Maryville, Tennessee, from 1989 to 2000. This is a church where I also served as associate pastor. I met Mary Jane there. It's a church of to date 1,300 members, maybe a little more than that, but it is I was the only associate there at the time, and during the tenure that I was there, the pastor of the church, Reverend Dr. retired in 1996, and it was during that time that I was in the middle of my doctoral program, and for a period of 3 months was there by myself without another pastor on site, and that was a challenging time with the number of deaths that were going on, and but it was a church that I truly loved, and my children were born in Maryville, and we had a very good experience there. Then in 2000 to 2007, we moved to Black Mountain, North Carolina, where I served once again as associate pastor. I served as an associate for 21 years, actually 22 years. And when I came here, it was the first head of staff position that I had served. But there again in Black Mountain, a great church. They had 56 retired ministers, about 25 retired missionaries, a few seminary presidents from our denomination. Black Mountain has become a mecca, if you will, for a lot of retired church professionals, and so we saw a number of them in our church during those years, and it was a great experience for me. I got a lot of support and affirmation, and it was there that I decided to make the change out of a career associate pastor to a pastor head of staff, and came to Valdez in 2007. Now, the music. The first up on our playlist is Depeche Mode's Higher Love from the Songs of Faith and Devotion album. This is a song that I like the sound of Depeche Mode, and this song talks about a higher love, and moved, lifted higher, moved, my soul's on fire, moved to a higher love. Then the second piece is from Daniel Lanois, and it is called The Maker, and it's from the Maker album. Lanois is backed up on this piece by Aaron Neville, and you can hear his high tenor voice in the background. And Lanois is talking about his relationship with God, the Maker, and few lines there that are meaningful to me. I could not see for the fog in my eyes. I could not feel for the fear in my life. From across a great divide in the distance I saw a light, Jean Baptiste, walking to me with the Maker. Then we move on to the Doobie Brothers. As I was developing this, and I had forgotten all about the Doobie Brothers until I got on my playlist the other day and recognized that it wasn't there. And Jesus is Just All Right With Me is one of those songs you wouldn't expect to hear from a rock band, but it was at the end of the Jesus movement, or in the latter stages of the Jesus movement in the 70s, and this is a song that I like the drive to it and the beat, as well as the message. Then an unusual addition, primarily because it is a hymn that we sing to the same tune, but the words have been changed by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. The tune is Jerusalem off the Brain Salad Surgery album. And this piece of music is one that, because of the tune and because of the hymn that we sing, it's inspirational to me, even though it's essentially talking about building in Great Britain or in England the city of God in their midst. The next piece is by Traffic, and Traffic is one of those essential albums for me that and particularly the Low Spark of High Heel Boys, that album has been one that I've listened to the point where I wore the grooves out of the record just about, and it is one that I continue to enjoy the placid and the calming mood of the Traffic music, and the use of the instrumentals that they have in it is exceptional. Then finally, another addition, Elton John's Salvation, is one that, again, I had thought of some time ago and then just forgot to add to my playlist when I was developing the playlist, and it came to me a few weeks ago that I needed to add that piece. The words to Salvation that was the reason that I chose it for this piece includes these words. I have to say, my friends, we're looking for a light ahead. In the distance a candle burns. Salvation keeps the hungry children fed. It's got to take a lot of salvation. What we need are willing hands. You must feel the sweet sweat in your eyes. You must understand salvation. And I think of that in terms of our response after hearing the Word of God in the worship lineup, the response of the people of God to how are we going to make a difference? Are we internalizing the message of our faith in our lives? And one way to do that, to internalize that, is to express it in helping people and in living out our faith in that regard, with the integrity of who we are as individuals and as disciples of Christ. Enjoy this section of the playlist. Next week will be our sixth and final segment. Thank you.